Friends, I request everybody to please unmute yourselves.
Okay.
Arvid, please unmute yourselves.
Yes.
Thanks. All right, so now we will start with our second class of super intensive Deutsch. Let me first share my screen, your entire screen. Okay. So a quick recap of what we learned the last time. We learned from A to Z, and in the end we were talking about the counting in German. So just to recap, I would like everybody to please speak out how to speak 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a moment.
There is, I think, someone waiting.
Let me check. Yes. Just a moment. I don't know what is happening. My cursor is not working. First moment. Okay, meanwhile, I would request everybody to please, one by one, speak out from 1 to 13. So,
Okay.
everybody please speak out how 1 is pronounced in Deutsch.
Eins. Eins. Eins.
Eins.
Correct. So, I heard 4 voices. Just give me a moment, please. I don't know, my cursor is this pen is not working. It's working on the other screen. First moment. Don't know what is happening. All right. Meanwhile, please proceed with the counting. I would request everybody to continue with counting, please.
Zwei.
Yeah.
Zwei. Zwei.
Zwei.
Drei. Drei. Drei.
Drei.
Vier. 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 Vier.
Vier.
Fünf. Fünf. Fünf.
Fünf.
Sechs. Sechs. Sechs.
Right.
Sechs.
Sieben. 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 Acht.
Sieben.
Acht.
Acht.
Neun. Neun. Neun.
Neun.
Ishita, it is 9. No? 9.
Neun.
Yeah.
Neun.
Neun.
Zehn. Zehn.
Perfect. Weiter, please. 11, 12, 13.
11.
Others, please.
11.
11. 12. 12.
Yeah.
12.
13.
That's right.
13. 13.
That's right. All right. Just to remind, I forgot to tell you how 0 looks like. So 0 is null.
Null.
Yeah?
Null.
All right. Just give me one more moment. Share screen, present, window, Microsoft Whiteboard, share. Yeah, I'm still visible, right?
Yes.
That's great. This whiteboard is, you guys can see this whiteboard?
Yep. Yeah, but it is loading.
Yes, that's right. Just first moment. Okay, so now we'll proceed further. Just a minute. Yeah. We also learned about umlauts. So they were used to be like a modified version of A, O, and U, or when it's an umlaut in A of English, then in Deutsch it becomes like apple, like Äpfel.
Yeah,
Yeah, and L I told like L, wherein O becomes a little twisted O, which becomes L, and U
L.
literally becomes umbrella U, YOU, like Ubin, right?
You.
Okay. Then let's proceed with today's class now. So, friends, in today's class, I would like to tell you a brief description of how German language looks like. There are quite a lot of differences between the English language and German language. First of all, we will be talking about articles. Now, in English, we have the or a, right? So we normally say like a boy, a doctor, a engineer, or we can say the boy is playing, or the stool is lying on the ground, or the computer is working. However, in German, this the converts to three genders. Yeah, especially in English, there is a contrast. The is used irrespective of gender. Like for every noun, we'll be having masculine gender, feminine gender, and neutral gender. Feminine and neutral, masculine. Just a moment. Of course, moment, no kind of problem. Just give me a second, please. All right. Control E. Yeah. So I was talking about the articles. Normally in German, in English, we have the, which corresponds to all type of genders: masculine, feminine, and neutral. However, when we talk about in German, these articles are different for every noun, for every gender. So the literally converts to D for feminine, then it converts to der for masculine, and then it converts to das, das for neutral. All right, der, die, das. Please make sure, friends, you speak out this der, die, das very clearly, because it is not die. First of all, it is d, right? Like d, and then der, it becomes der like this, and thus is becomes thus like this.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is it thus or is it thus?
No, that's what I want to say. It has to be thus only, right? So if you say thus auto, it is normally in English we can say it as das auto, but when you speak in German, or you are you speak with in a common society, you normally call it as thus only. And then these were the bestimmt article, that means the definite articles, and this a, which we don't in English we don't know if it's a specific thing, like a boy was playing, for example, a boy was playing. So here it becomes eine.
Einen.
Yes, right. So this ending, einer, einem, eines, these all will differ on the situation basis, which we'll talk about later on. But as of now, you just remember that this a, which is there in English, converts to ein, and then there will be multiple modifications, right? So this is the basic structure. Der, die, das is something which is associated with every noun, and if you don't know it's a general thing. I mean, a boy was playing, but you don't know that the boy was there, or you don't know the name of the boy, or that boy is just a general person, then you can call it as a boy, and in German it will turn to eine Junge or ein Kind or whatever it may be, right? Okay. Now There is another rule, rule number 2. Every noun starts with capital letter. Right? Now, in English also, if we talk about, let's say I say, I stay in Mumbai, right? So you probably have noticed that Mumbai automatically becomes bigger. I mean that M becomes uppercase, right? However, if I say I stay in city, right? So here this city, this C is still small, right? However, in German, every noun, irrespective of whether it is a specific noun or a general noun, it has to be in capital only. So, ich wohne in Stadt. So, S will be capitalized, right? Make sure, friends, that every noun, irrespective of whichever type of noun, whether it is the name of a boy or just a boy, or anything like football or cricket or whatever it may be, if it's a noun, it has to be in capital letters. The third rule is, I'm talking about the contrasting differences between English and German. In English, you probably know it already that we have masculine nouns, then feminine nouns, and then neutral, right? Now, this normally in English we call it as non-living items, right? So, for example, let's say newspaper. So we call it as neutral because we'll be using it. Newspaper is lying on the ground. So we'll be saying it is lying, it is there on the ground, it is lying on the ground. So we'll be using it, right? To denote a neutral noun in English. On feminine, we normally use she, and for masculine, we use he. Right? This is a very common thing which everybody must be knowing. However, when it comes to German, this rule does not follow. Like non-living item has to be in neutral, that does not follow. Here also we have masculine, feminine, and neutral. But again, it is kind of a challenging task for everybody as on today, because whenever you learn any noun, you have to learn the gender associated with that noun. Now, unfortunately, there is no link between there is no logic behind it. For example, I can say, let's say telephone. This is definitely non-living, so I'm sure that this is thus only. By the way, as you probably have recalled from previous 10 minutes back, I told when it is a neutral, I'll be using thus. I'll rather write it down somewhere around. Just a moment here. For masculine, somebody please tell me what should I write here? Which article we use?
There, in masculine.
That's right. Other guy, somebody else, please tell
We
me.
will write B.
That's right. And somebody else may please tell me about neutral.
This.
Absolutely right. Right. So we use thus for neutral, D for feminine, and there for masculine. Now, as I said, thus telephone is perfectly right. Right. However, what about newspaper? So newspaper of Deutsch is Zeitung. If we go by English logic, or if we use our English Kenntnisse or the knowledge, we'll probably be ending up with das Zeitung, which is wrong. Zeitung is D. Right? So there is no logic whether it is a living thing or a non-living thing. Bank. Again, it is D. right? So my suggestion, in fact, I would give you this suggestion at least 1000 times. Whenever you are learning any noun, just now you got to know that Zeitung is newspaper. Newspaper. Please, by heart you record the name of that noun also. That is the Zeitung, which is a new thing for you. And parallelly, right at the moment you learn this new noun, learn this gender as well. Initially, it may be kind of overwhelming, because after 2 days' time, when you will recall the what you have learned today, you probably will forget every noun, every gender. But still, that's fine. I mean, it takes some time, but over a period of time, you will start learning it, right? So, is that okay, friends? Whenever you will be learning a new noun, you will be learning the gender as well. I request you to please give yes, okay, everything's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I heard only two voices,
Okay.
three, and I think there are four members.
Okay.
All right. Let's proceed now. Now, you probably recall I told you that I would request you to take some screenshots during the classes. So right now, I'll write down some nouns that I would request you to please take a screenshot or write it on your copy or whatever you are having. So first is thus telephone.
There this.
This is thus telephone. Okay. Now this is telephone, of course. Now you please note down, or you probably have noticed that this is a noun for sure, and thereby the first character of this noun is capitalized, right? Then we just learned die Zeitung. All right. Then we just learned die Bank. Yeah, probably one more thing, friends. Once I write this noun, I would like you guys to please speak it up, because in English we'll be calling it as bank, but when you talk in German, it is Bank, right? Then comes der Zug. An important point to note here, friends, is when I am talking about this article, you probably have noticed that I am writing them in capitals, right? Now, this D, der D das, this D is irrespective of, it's not a important thing. It could be in capital letters or it could be in small letters as well. So it makes literally no difference, right? Thus taxi,
There this, right?
pardon?
There this, right?
Der Tisch. Well, as I told you, even I am not very sure about the gender. Tisch definitely means table, but are you sure that it is der?
Yes.
All right, so I'll write down der Tisch.
And we can have das also.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Das Auto.
Der Rucksack.
Der Rucksack. Perfect. You're sure about der, na?
Yes. Das Fahrrad.
Das Fahrrad. Perfect. By the way, Fahrrad means bicycle, right? Now, der, see, now I'm writing it in small because it hardly makes any difference. When in case you're talking about, let's say, das Fahrrad is kaputt, for example. So in this sentence, das comes at the first first word of the sentence, thereby it is uppercased. Otherwise, if it comes in the middle of the sentence, then this D will be small case. Der Bahnhof. Remember this, friends. BAHNHOF means station. Okay. Das Fahrrad means bicycle.
Das Handy.
Das Handy. It is das Handy. Yeah? Please try to speak out as das Handy.
Yeah. Das Handy.
Perfect. Then the last thing that I want to mention here is die Uhr is equal to clock. Alright. Now with time we will learn many more nouns like this. So now I would request all 4 people. I think we are all 4 now. Just let me quickly check how many people we are. Yeah, that's right. Please unmute everybody. Moment. Yes. So I request everybody to please speak out these words one by one.
Das Telefon.
Das Telefon.
Yeah. The voice is very low. The last person I could not repeat. I could not hear. Can you please repeat?
Das Telefon.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Next.
Die Zeitung.
Die Zeitung.
Perfect.
Die Bank.
Die Bank.
Die Bank.
Die Bank.
Der Zug.
Der Zoo.
Der
Zoo. Das Taxi.
Das Taxi.
Moment. And in course, moment. Das Taxi. Okay. Das Taxi.
Das Taxi.
Das Taxi.
Das Taxi.
Das Taxi. Der Bus.
Der Bus.
Der Bus.
Der Bus.
Ja.
Der Tisch.
Der Tisch.
Der Tisch.
Der Tisch.
Perfect.
Das Auto.
Das Auto.
Das Auto.
Perfect.
Die Uhr.
Die Uhr. Die Uhr.
Die Uhr.
Das
Das
Handy.
Handy.
Das
Das
Handy.
Handy. Der Rucksack.
Der Rucksack.
Der
Der
Rucksack.
Rucksack.
Das
Das
Fahrrad.
Fahrrad.
Das Fahrrad.
Das Fahrrad.
Der Bahnhof.
Der Bahnhof.
Der Bahnhof.
Der Bahnhof.
Perfect. So once again, I would like to reiterate everything. This D is immaterial, or you can use it as capitalized D or small d depending on the position of this word in the sentence. This character of the noun, the first character, has to be always in uppercase. There are very less rules in German language, I must say. One of which are own exceptions, which are without exceptions. This rule has no exceptions at all. So it has to be uppercase at all the times. Then there is a gender associated with every noun, and unfortunately that has no logic associated with it. So you have to learn the genders by heart. Okay. So Fragen dazu.
Nein.
Nein.
Nine.
Nein.
Nein.
Perfect. Okay, then we will go further. Kurz Moment bitte. One small announcement that I would like to tell you, our people, is we are doing super intensive German class. Now, because it is super intensive, I have to give you some homework as well. Now, this homework,
House of Gaben.
absolutely right, House of Gaber. I'm giving you a guideline for future classes as well. This House of Gaber is 25 points homework. Right now, what's this 25 points is? This 25 point means that every day I'll be giving you a homework which will have 25 points. Now this 25 points means it could be 10 verbs that I would request you to please learn, maybe 10 phrases and 5 nouns. So it becomes 25. Or it could be all of a sudden 25 verbs, or it could be 20 plus 20 plus 5 or something like this, right? So every day you'll be receiving homework which you must do. It's not an option, it's a must, right? Because we are doing super intensive German class. Just to give you an additional small amount of pressure, I'll be revising this homework in the next class. So it may be like if I give you 25 verbs to learn, in the next class we will devote some 10 minutes only on this homework, because there must be a clear follow-up for whatever Aufgabe that I give you or homework I give you. And I expect that you people must learn these 25 points by heart. Now, this is definitely not going to take more than 1 hour of your time, or maximum I would say 30 minutes to 1 hour. But I request your dedication, especially in this purpose, in this area of House of Kabul. All right. Is that okay for everybody?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
So in the next class, we will be, discussing upon it, and it may happen that you'll find a little bit of pressure here, but it is bearable. All right. So now let us proceed with this grammar thing that there did as we were learning. So as I told you, we have masculine, feminine, neutral, and you probably have noticed there is one more thing called plural, right? There could be a boy. Boy is definitely masculine, but then there is a group of boys also possible, which would be plural. There could be a Zeitung, a newspaper, but then there could be a bunch of newspapers which becomes plural, right? So every noun will be in either of these cases, whether it could be masculine, feminine, neutral, or it could be in plural form, right? Now there is a good news for you guys. When we talk about these nouns, as I mentioned multiple times, it is der, die, das, and fortunately, for every plural, it's only D, right? So this is a good news, because you'll be having a tough time remembering these nouns, these genders associated with these nouns. But in case if you find a plural, if you talk about, let's say, blumen, blumen is a flower. So you can be sure that the plural of this blumen will be definitely die Blumen, right? So it's a hinweis. It's kind of a good news for everybody. So I would now explain more about it. Let's say we have Lehrer. All right. Now there is one more thing that I wanted to tell you. We normally say teacher. Let's say in English we have only teacher. Now teacher is common, whether it's he or it's she. It will be only teacher. However, in Deutsch, it's not like this. Lehrer means teacher. And if it's lady teacher, then it would be
Lehrerin.
yes, Leher, H-E-L-L-E-H-R-E-R-I-N, right? So here it will be again teacher, but it's she teacher. So you'll see Lehrer, he's a teacher. It's here, it's he, it's there. But if it is Lehrerin, then it is D. So there is a little bit of logic also, because if it's a lady teacher, then it has to be D only. It has to be feminine. So a 5% of logic also exists in this language. Normally languages don't follow any logics. And then if we talk about plural, then it is going to be only die Lehrer. I would like to focus you upon this D, right? So it has to be D only, right? Now, for example, Frau. Anybody know what's the meaning of Frau?
Mrs.
Yes, Miss or lady, or Mrs. So it's always D for sure. But here when it comes, it has to be a group of ladies will be Frauen. So again, it's only D. Likewise, we have das Kind. Right? And here it becomes die Kinder. Right? Now, just to give you a glimpse of the logic and no logic system in any language, Mädchen. Mädchen is basically small girl. Okay. So probably you must have already assumed that it must be die Mädchen, right? But unfortunately, it's
Das Mädchen.
yes, it's das Mädchen. Although Mädchen is a feminine, and when today also she is feminine, and when she grow up, she will be feminine. But still, Mädchen itself is neutral. So thereby, just wanted to give you a feel that there is no logic, and you have to remember these nouns by heart. Okay. So this was all about this der, die, das. Now I would like to give you a brief feeling of verbs. Now friends, we are actually going parallel with multiple topics. So please bear with me, because if I just go with nouns and continue for 2 or 3 hours only with nouns, then it would be extreme boring for you people. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to grasp or cover up the basics of every field first, and then parallelly we'll be proceeding with every field. Like we did some der, die, das, we did some ABCD, we did some counting, we did some verbs. Again we'll be going back and we'll be proceeding with more counting, like we did only from 0 to 13. In our next sessions I'll be taking up beyond 13 also. All right, so this verbs is, by the way, das verb. Okay. Now friends, whenever you see any noun, the first question that you should ask yourself is, what is the gender of this noun, right? Because whenever you find any noun, I tell you, because I told you I'll recommend it to you 1,000 times, that means I'll be talking the same thing 1,000 times. I want you to always remember the noun of the gender of the noun associated immediately the moment you learn that noun. So it is das verb of Deutsch. Now again, please don't say it as verb, right? It is verb. Okay, so there is 2 forms which are generally found in verbs. One is the infinitive form. Please remember this word, infinitive, infinitive, infinitive form. Infinitive form is the form of a verb which we normally found in dictionaries, right? So for example, let me say common is equal to, can somebody say?
To come.
Right, to come. Now again, there is a drastic difference between English and German. Let's say if I were to say I come, you come, we come, you all come, we all will come. So the come is always same, C-O-M-E. However, when we talk in German, it changes upon depending on the situation. Like it will be
Ich komme.
yeah, ich komme,
Du kommst.
Du kommst.
du kommst,
Sie kommt.
right, er, sie as kommt.
Wir kommen.
Yes.
Ihr kommt.
Ihr kommt.
Sie
Dieses
kommen.
kommen.
Sie kommen. Perfect. Ishita, did you find any problem with this system?
No.
No, you know this system already.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's great. So I need not go into the depth of the basics of this conjugation. So the clear thing is when we talk about verbs, it changes its form depending on where it is used. If I am saying that ja, ich komme, so it will when I want to say ja, I am coming, then I can say ich komme. When Arvid will say that are you coming? So it will be how it would be?
Do.
Yes, you're right. It will be comes to. So depending on the situation, the first person, second person, third person, the ending of this verb will change. So that's great.
Actually, may I say something?
Yeah, please.
In Marathi and in Hindi, we also use the same thing. In Marathi, it is called Kriyapad Charavne, in which the main verb stays the same. For example, in this, it is com, and we just add a comma or comst,
Mhm.
so st. So in Marathi also we do the same. Like mi yeto to, or mi pani pito to, like that we use like to kiva ti. So it is also called as Kriyapad Charavne.
That's right. That's right. Yes, you are absolutely right. Normally, we are so used to this language now that we don't realize it. That yeah, that's something that we are already using. So you gave a perfect example. Thanks. All right. Then everybody is known with these things: ish, do, RZS, wir, ihr,
Yes.
zizi. Vibite?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too. All right. All four are already familiar. So that's great. So I can skip upon these personal pronouns things and we can now proceed further. Okay. So let's do some exercises, small exercises. How about gehen? Ich, du, sie, es, wir, ihr und sie. I would request everybody to just speak out. Only one person, one time, right? Ich gehe.
Du gehst.
G-E-H-S-T. Somebody give it a try.
Yes, gate.
Get. Ich gehe, du gehst, RCS geht. Wir,
Gehen.
right. Ihr,
Gate.
right.
Sie
Sie,
gehen.
perfect. Toll. Then let's do another example. Fragen.
Ich frage.
Perfect.
Fragst.
Du fragst. Perfect.
RCS fragt.
Perfect.
Wir fragen.
Wir fragen.
Mhm.
Ihr fragt.
Yes.
Sie fragen.
Perfect. 100% richtig. Kurz mal bitte. Okay. Also, gehen wir weiter mit noch ein Verb, weil heißt learn. L-E-R-N.
Ich lerne.
Ich lerne,
Du lernst.
lernst. Yes.
Lernt.
Perfect.
Learned.
Wir lernen.
Ihr lernt.
Sie lernen. Right?
Lernen.
Perfekt. Also, wahrscheinlich, ihr habt so bemerkt, dass wir haben nur lernen, diese regelmäßige Verb geübt. What I mean to say is, probably you people have already understood or noticed that we are talking about verbs which are regelmäßig. That is, they are following the rules, right? So they are known as weak verbs. Again, there is another species of verbs which do not follow these rules. That we will take up later on. I don't want to do it today only. But what I want to tell you is, you probably must have noticed that in all the cases, whichever verb I have written, this first character is also always small. Right? So make sure, friends, that whenever you are writing a verb, unless and until this verb comes at the first place of a sentence, because if there is any sentence and the first character, whatever it may be, frage, oder gehe, oder lerne, whatever it may be, it has to be in capital in that case. However, if the verb is coming anywhere in middle of a sentence, then the character has to be in small characters. Then the first character of the verb has to be in small characters. Else, it's in capital, which is an obvious rule. All right. One example with umlaut wanted to take up, üben. By the way, üben, I would request everybody to please speak out, because here is a umlaut.
Üben.
Üben.
Repeat please, once again please everybody.
Üben.
Yeah.
Üben.
Mhm.
Üben.
Yes, that's right. Make sure you don't speak out as üben, right? Üben. So this voice comes from the bottom of your throat. Üben.
Üben.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you need to give another additional 50 grams weightage while pronouncing this word. Otherwise, it's not that simple to pronounce. Also,
What is the meaning of this word?
yes, üben means to practice. Right? If somebody is practicing, Kapil Dev is there and he's practicing cricket. So Kapil übt cricket, right? So to practice.
Ich übe Fußball.
100% perfekt. Oder ich übe Deutsch, oder?
Yeah.
Perfekt. Also, bitte gehen Sie weiter mit Konjugation von jedem Verb. Üben.
Ich
So,
übe.
üben,
Du
übst.
übst.
Yes.
Übt. Übt.
Mhm.
Üben.
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 Übt.
Übt.
Und
Sie üben.
yes. Perfect. I just want to change the color of my pen. I don't know how to change. Give me a second. Yes, I found it. All right. So now there is a striking similarity because we are all talking about regelmäßig Verben. That is, these are the verbs which follow a fixed rule. So, most likely you must have noticed that wir comes in the infinitive form, right? So make sure, friends, you understand the infinitive forms, because these are the forms which you will find in dictionary. If you open up any paper dictionary or maybe a application dictionary, then most likely you won't find learnst in that dictionary. What you will find is learned, right? Also, in die Gleichfalls, diese Drittei-Personen, das heißt sie und es, kommt in die gleiche Infinitive Form. Das heißt, wir and sie will be the same all the times. Likewise, sie es and ihr is also in most of the cases same. Like fragt und fragt. It's just the same, right? So even if you learn a few forms, you can still make out what the complete conjugation would look like. So you probably, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but like the conjugation of expression and that as is spricht, so SPRICHT and ear spricht. So in that SPRECHT, right?
That can happen because now we are talking about regelmäßig, which follow the rules. And I am not quite sure. I'll make a note of it. Just give me a quick moment. Expression. I'll check it out. And probably, if it is not following the rule, that means it is unregelmäßig verb.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. Perfect. Then I think we have gone quite far. Just give me a cool moment. Okay, so in our next lecture, we will be talking about articles. Artikel. And we will be talking about bestimmt und unbestimmt. That is, sorry, we will be talking about unbestimmt. That is, in general, in English, we call it as a or an, right? So their counterparts we'll be learning in our next class. And these are bestimmt. Bestimmt means the, or in German it would be moment. Der, die, das, and unbestimmt is eine.
Eine.
Yes, actually.
Meine.
Mine is also there. But anyways, we will talk about ein only, and there is a tabular. You have to learn a table on the basis of which you can convert the endings. However, ein itself is known as Stamm. Stamm means root. In fact, I would like to mention here as well. Here, let's say fragen. So here frag, F-R-A-G, because you will probably notice that frag is always there in every form. So this frag, F-R-A-G, is Stamm. Likewise, learn is also L-E-R-N is Stamm. Gehen, in gehen we have gehe, right? So this is Stamm, that is the root is there, which is presence in every format, and then the ending will keep changing. All right. Okay. Bestimmt und unbestimmt, these two characters means, bestimmt means fix. Unbestimmt is variable, or maybe not fix. So maybe like if I say, let's say I have to say, give me a fixed time, right? So I can say it as, geben Sie mir eine bestimmte Zeit. Bestimmt Zeit, geben Sie mir. Geben Sie mir eine, bestimmt. Zeit. Right? So bestimmt means literally fixed. Okay. So that was all for today, friends. I just want to take 2 more minutes before we close our session, and I would like to introduce you with our first Hausaufgabe. And here it is. Hausaufgabe 6622. So friends, I would request you to please learn these verbs by heart, auswendig. That means this is German and English. Anbieten, enden, anfangen. Please, yeah.
We can only see a whiteboard.
It is not visible on the screen.
Oi, Entschuldigung, tut mir wirklich leid. Stop sharing. Again, I have to share it. Einen kurzen Moment, bitte. Again, I have to share. Where to share now? Your entire window. And yes, here I am. Okay, tut mir wirklich leid. Okay, I think now it is visible.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So this is Hausaufgabe 1, 6622. It's very simple. You only have to learn it by heart. Right? So these are verbs and this is their meaning. Likewise, as I said, it's a 25-point Hausaufgabe. Jeden Tag bekommen Sie diese Hausaufgaben. That means you people will be receiving this Hausaufgabe homework every day, and it's definitely not going to take a lot of time. I strongly suggest please read it completely today before you sleep, and tomorrow again read it 2 or 3 times at max. And I'm sure because people of your age learn very fast. So before tomorrow's next session, I'm sure that you will be able to learn every word. Okay?
Okay.
Also, Fragen oder Zweifel oder etwas von eurer Seite?
No, 9.
9.
I heard only 2 voices.
Nichts.
Okay. I heard only 3 voices.
9.
All right, perfect. Okay, so bis nächste Mal, bis morgen.
Okay, bis morgen. Tschüss.
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 Ciao.
Ciao.